peoples of the universe, please attend carefully. The message that follows is vital to the future of you all.
Every message I have for you is always vital to the future of you all. And none less than this one. Good afternoon, everybody. Good morning, depending where you are in the world. Good evening if you're if you're down under in Australia. I don't know if you're down under from me in Israel. What we call you down under. Culturally, you're down under. That's not a derogative at all. 1 second. So I just got to turn something off. So there's this new movie with Tom Hanks and who was it? The guy from This Is England. He played Al Capone in Boardwalk Empire. What's that guy's name? I'm thinking Mark Addy, but it's not him at all. He's a really good actor. I really like him in pretty much everything. I like pretty much everybody from This Is England in everything I see him. So it's on was it Apple TV Plus, which I have for free. But it's just such a pain in the ass to work it out to do a new thing. I downloaded it illegally, so I figure I'll just watch it that way, because like I'm old. I don't want to think about new things. Thinking about new things does indeed hurt me. So what are we going to talk about today? I'm going to just do a little bit of general schmoozing, say hello while people come in. I'm not going to do a massively long stream. Today is Friday. Today is the Sabbath. The Sabbath bride doth approaches. Oh, actually, you know what? It's very exciting. Our kitchen is now functional enough that my wife could cook in it, and she made for Sabbath each week. You make these this special type of bread called challahs, and these ones come out particularly well. I'm just trying. I took a picture. I will send them, and we can look at them together. They go airdrop. There you go. I press that button there. See, I'm such a boomer. It's because you can see my brain turning when I'm trying to work something out. Okay, I click open. Oh yeah, so anyway, for Sabbath, if you're new to the channel, I'll let you know. I'm offline from 25 hours for today. It's going to start. Sabbath starts at 7:28 where I am in the evening, and then you have 80 minutes after that until you get to the actual Sabbath time. You got like an 80-minute window before you get there. And then I'm offline for 25 hours, which is fantastic. I have to say, no matter how long Sabbath is, because it ends later in the evening in the summer and earlier in the winter. No matter what time of year it is, no matter what time the Sabbath ends, that last hour, you're always like, oh God, really? Oh, and you're itching to get to your phone, sort of, to a certain extent. I mean, it depends. I normally run out of like what I ever pick out to read. Anyway, but you have you're supposed to have 3 meals, three meals with over the Sabbath, and each meal you have 2 loaves of bread because I can't believe I'm going into all this detail. Okay, when the Jews were in the desert and they got manna from heaven, they got 2 loaves, two portions on Fridays. One for Friday, one for the Sabbath. But you weren't allowed to go out on Sabbath collecting manna. Yeah, why not just not have it full? Anyway, that's a whole other thing. So you have to have at least 2 loaves that you put together. You make, and my wife, normal people buy them, but my wife is the most wonderful person in the world, and she makes them every week. So our kitchen has been out of commission for like about 3 weeks, and we've been in renovations. I think they're going to be done by next week. It's really exciting. Thank God. And so this is the first colours that we had. They came out looking really nice. So I'm quite excited. Our Sabbath meal is normally you start with wine. You say a blessing over wine, and wine, by the way, is a spiritual magnifier. That's alcohol. That's basically what it's supposed to do. Not so much spirits, but wine is a spiritual magnifier, tuning you into whatever the spiritual time of the day is. So you say a blessing of wine, then you say a blessing over bread. You wash your hands in a ritual way before. And you're not allowed to talk. It's great for the kids. You're not allowed to talk from when you wash to when you get bread. So that's the only time we get quiet, but we really don't, because people giggle and poke each other as they do. And my kids aren't little. My kids are big, and they still do the same crap. And then we want to have the Jewish chicken soup. If ever any of you are ever in Israel, please genuinely get in contact. It would be I would love to have you come over to my house for a Sabbath meal. And then my wife normally makes normally way too much food. that's essentially essentially let me take that off. But so that was the first fruits from the kitchen. So what do I know? What do I know about Doctor Who being animated? That's a bit of a tease, isn't it? So it's mostly speculation. I'd like every good news story. Woodward and Bernstein would be proud. Like every good news story, I have a few facts. And I have some speculation of logical stuff I read around. I'm going to go over that with you soon. We're going to be talking about the Star Wars, the Star Wars Insider thingy, where we found out about the chaos going on in Lucasfilm ever since George Lucas was pushed out, apparently. So we're going to be talking about that. I probably won't because it's too detailed. I'm waiting for more information to come out, go into the whisper networks of in the comic book industry, which they said they didn't exist. These whisper networks do not exist under any circumstance whatsoever. And now the great people at Bleeding Fall have got screen grabs of them all. Oh, it's fantastic. And they're still denying it. They're still like, see, SJWs, they do. I've got a real grounding in SJWs this week. The SJWs, if they don't, one of the things they do if they can't deal with something is they make fun of it, they mock it, and again, the way you depower that is you just ignore it. You ignore their bullcrap. You ignore the bullcrap. I had a few more thoughts on Ben Cook as well after. These are minor ones. My big stream on it yesterday. I'm really quite proud of. I think it's I think there's a lot of pretty good advice in there, mostly for him. But one last thing about what's really making him go completely crazy. Two things. It's the death of, not the death. He works in print media, fan print media. Yeah, that's it. And fan print media is not quite as influential as any media is. Anymore. So I think I can understand why he really hates Noel. So there are rumors circulating, which I have no idea of the truth of, that he was one of the instigators of the mass piling on Noel over the last few days. And I got a kind of feeling when he was pretending he couldn't remember Noel's name. Like Nigel, not yet. No, that's the smell of bullshit to me. Yeah, that smelled like bullcrap. I think he knows who he is very much. And I think what I think he doesn't like about Noel, that Noel has an audience. I really think that's what they can't stand. That Noel has an audience. Like all the time they deplatform people. Because they only deplatform people they don't like. It's never about the reasons. It's never about racism. Never ever. It's because they don't like what they say. So I think makes Ben Cook crazy that Noel. Like he's Ben Cook, the educated Ben Cook, the erudite Ben Cook here, and he's very talented, yeah. And Noel is Noel from Ireland, and he's like, he's not, he doesn't strike me as like Oxbridge material, whereas Ben Cook does, he really does. I think he looks down at Noel, and he can't stand that Noel has so much of an audience, and I think that what's making him really like go insane. So yes, basically you can always boil things down to petty jealousy. Let's have a look at the chat. Let's say hello to people. I'm removing. No, I'm going to take that off. Stop screen. There you go. But TARDIS team, how are you? Good afternoon. If Doctor Who is to be animated, they have lost. I see. That's part of the story. Officially, sadly, they won't be able to draw the level of contempt in Jodie's face when she confronts a white man. That is true, but they won't be able to. They also won't be able to carry out how incredibly stiff and wooden she is. I don't think they could afford that animation of that detail to show her like truly terrible performance. Which will be interesting. The rumor with the ring, of truth about it. It is. It really is. Kelly, Derek Manners, Kelly Lynch, how are you? You're in the state. You're in Florida. My old stomping grounds. Oh, it's early for you. Oh, early 9, 10. It's 10 for you. It's not. Saturn 2320. I haven't seen him in the chat before. How are you? Good afternoon, Saturn 2320. OMG, I can't wait. I hope I'm entertaining you. Bloody hell! Now I feel a lot of pressure. When she's regeneration? You got no bun. I don't want to see regenerate. Yes, we will. So that is, I think that's possibility number 2. That's theory number 2. Well, we're going to be talking about that. I mean, really, they could just regenerate her at the end of Revolution of the Daleks and wrap up Doctor Who and say, when we can make it again, we can make it again. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that can happen, because I think they're contractually obligated to deliver Doctor Who. But who knows what's going on in this environment. Autumn Mirabilis, Adam. So much easier. How are you? If they regenerate her via animation, that tells social justice crowd their contemptible Doctor didn't officially step down in person. Canon controversy will bound after. Yes, absolutely. As the says problem being okay. We're talking about pirates, actually. Unknown 289. Don't even regenerate. Just wreck on it. Okay, listen. Okay. If tomorrow I come up with a cure for the pandemic, for the thing that gives you immunity and cures you, like boom, I will give it away, and here's what I would give it away for. I would bond in exchange for it complete ownership of Star Trek, Doctor Who, and Star Wars. I want complete ownership of all those 3 things, and everything's being retconned. Everything's going like that. Because look, if I'm there, if I'm in charge of it, I can say, yeah, look, it's been terrible. It's been absolutely terrible. Discovery's gone, Ray's gone. Yeah, it's terrible. Blah, blah, blah. And we're just wiping all that away and starting. That's what I would do in exchange for the cure. Okay, that's it. So all of you better just hope that I work it out. Look, there. I know. I have no experience in science, medicine, or chemistry. So it's a bit of a challenge. To come up by tomorrow afternoon. But if I do it, you guys will be amongst the first to know. I might tell my wife first. They'll do that in a million years. The BBC will burn to the ground within a week by the lunatics. Okay. One could, yeah, they are on a major self-destructive tear. We may look at the thing from Harper's Bazaar. Was it going over the liberals trying to cancel culture as cancel culture comes to eat them all. Like once it swallows up J.K. Rowling, they're like, oh crap, Was it so I really want to know how they're dealing with this, with all these luminaries on that list, all these intellectuals, on the list. How on earth are they dealing with them? I can understand and saying that J.K. Rowling has turned in as what she was wonderful, she was great, but now she's one of the artsies. She's turned into one of the artsies. I think they can take it from. But I think if academia turns around and says, "You guys are crazy, you guys are bogging," I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do, because I don't think they can handle the word no. I don't think they can handle hearing that they're wrong at all. Well, again, that was certainly my experience with Ben Cook, wasn't it? And he certainly couldn't deal with like, oh my God, that's the other thing. I just like when you look at his Twitter feed, there's like my argument took me a big part of my life, like way more than it deserved, right? And I see him doing that with 10, 15 people a day. I'm like, bloody, no wonder he doesn't have any kids. Who has time for all that? Charlotte Shields, how are you? Hello all. I'm waiting to see, waiting as it will mean disastrous. Technically, the Doctor is longer than she should be. Sorry, Farscape did it best. Farscape did everything better. Oh my God. Wouldn't even want a bit of Farscape now. Actually, I'm not sorry at all. Just about and show prior to 2016 did everything better than most of the current era is even capable of doing. That's 100% correct. They're all like, well, TV audiences are just down in general. They're just, who knows why? Netflix. That's their answer to bloody everything. Netflix is the reason. Netflix is the reason. The answer is the reason everything's down. She's already been in place longer than she did, about 5 minutes. I guess that's true. I was on board for her, I have to tell you. Father Christopher Miller, how are you? Hell, Father Christopher Miller. I've been wanting to send you, but I think I'm waiting for the shipping to get back online again. I have this graphic novel that I wrote and drew. The first one I did called Biblical. It's called Bible Stories for Atheists, Creationists, Rationalists, and Rogues, and it's aimed at a secular audience. It's not aimed at a religious audience, but it's incredibly accurate and faithful to the Bible, like the source material going in. So it's essentially it starts off. The first chapter is the first two chapters talks about King Nimrod and the Tower of Babel. Which was like this world-shaking event. So the Tower of Babel. Then it goes back several hundred years to the flood and it focuses on the character of the raven. One of my favorite characters, really one of my favorite characters. And then it flashes forward to like hundred years and tells the story of Jonah. Jonah is an extension. It's basically the same being as the dove from and the dove and Noah are basically the same. Noah was a very, very flawed hero. So there's a whole thing about so you get to see this entire like arc of stories that goes between lives. So I've been meaning to send you one. I've been meaning to send you a copy because I figured you'll really like it. Oh, at least I hope you'll like it. But I just haven't got. I got your address right here. You gave it to me like months ago. I'm just really waiting for shipping to get back to normal. Darren M, how are you? Good afternoon. Well, it'll be good evening for you. It's Darren M. That'll be you're in Australia. 5 o'clock. For 5 plus 8 is there's 1 in the morning for you. Blimey, if I'm right. The Time Prophet. Time Prophet, how are you? I'm going to put something in the chat right now. Time Prophet is a new YouTuber. I'm going to put his channel. I'm going to put one of his videos up. I think this is his first video. Everybody go here. Let me go and subscribe to your channel. 1 second. Subscribe. Here, let me put it in the chat. Everybody head over, in another window, obviously. Subscribe to the channel. It's a really good video. I love the title. It's 16 times the doctor carried the gun. They said the doctor never uses the gun. It's a really good video. I was really good at Sokio. Good for you, mate. So, Time Prophet. Hey, how are you? And look, when you're up for it, come on my stream sometime. Let me just whiz through the chat. Ben Permit, thank you. Oh, Ben sent me a couple of things that have been flying around Twitter. Let me pull them up. And the J-bots are going crazy. They're going crazy because they just well, I think nothing says more. Let me throw this on the screen. I'm sure you've all seen it now. Philip Morris shared this, and they all just lost it. They lost it completely. Is this the right one? Yeah, that's the right one. There you go. Nothing describes this era of Doctor Who more accurately than what we're looking at there. Do you remember rows upon rows of these things? You got to feel bad for this company, right? You got to feel bad for them. Who knew? No, I didn't. Listen, not many people. A few people knew. So Ben, thank you for sending me this. Yeah, and then he said it was this other picture. Let me get it. He said, "Oh look, this is in a pound shop, right?" And they're like, no, God, again, the J-bots, they're so agonizing, they're so just exhausting. They're like, that's not a pound shop. I can tell by the sticker, it's not a pound shop. No, that's not the point. The point isn't that it's not a pound shop. That's just an easy way of saying these are incredibly discounted pieces of material. Because why are they incredibly discounted? Because nobody wants it. Nobody wants it. That's not it. Listen, there is a segment, and I listen. I may be just a naive old hippie. I may be a naive old hippie, but I haven't met any fan of this era that is sane. Okay, I haven't met a fan. But there's got to be somewhere. Really? Oh, we should really talk about that appearance. Let's talk about that for a second. Let me see if I can pull that up. Is it? I have to go probably on the official. Let's try Facebook, the official Facebook Doctor Who page. And now Facebook is just saying, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not going anywhere. There we go. 1 second. I'm on Dan's page, the Type 40 podcast page, which you should all go to. Let me go. Doctor Who. Here we go. And again, the J-bots were having fun with this. Is this the one? No. Back. Really, it's not on here? I'm surprised. Okay, so Jodie apparently was on. Oh, maybe it's on Twitter. How do I even find it? I don't even know how to find it. Blue Peter, maybe. Let's look up that. Blue Peter, Doctor Who. Maybe that might do it. Doctor Who. Oh, I could always just try Google. That would. Is this the one? No. Latest. Let's try the latest. There we go. Fine. I'll pull this up. Let's talk about this for a second. Stop screen. We do share screen. It is Twitter. Not a fan of Twitter, really. But what can you do? Can I make this bigger? I can make it blank, apparently. What? Where'd it go? Come back. Oh, there you go. Fine. Let me stop sharing that. I'll use a bigger picture. Stop screen. Share screen. Is this the one? Yeah, it must be. It must be. There you go. Fine. So this is, they had an appearance of, by obviously social distance appearance of Jodie on Blue Peter. And firstly, they said, I saw the J-Boss talking about this. They said, see, everybody says that boys don't like Jodie Whittaker. Okay, no. Here's the thing, they take everything literally if it means they can say no, right? They'll say, what? They'll pretend like it's not a joke if they can attack it, and they will never apply the same rules to themselves. Ever. They're the worst people in the humanity has ever made. So these are little boys. They don't like Jodie. So actually, firstly, no offense to the kid, but I just assumed he was a girl. I didn't think it was a boy. He's a pretty young boy at that. So anyway, so he's meeting Jodie Whittaker. And it's a reasonably agonizing segment. I was going to do a video on it. I thought, I don't really why. But here's the thing. When I was a kid, when I was about the age of that boy, I went to the our local children's bookshop, Fagan's, and Tom Baker was there. There was a Tom Baker signing. We lined up. I got my Doctor Who book of dinosaurs, whatever, and he signed it. He spoke to me. He put his hat on me. It was the most incredible. But here's the thing, Jodie could never do that. Jodie could never, ever do that. She can't be in a place that's unfiltered, right? She can't go anywhere unfiltered. Anybody she meets, she's got they got to be vetted and approved. Tom Baker could just go outside and meet anybody, and everybody loved him. I think David Tennant probably could do the same thing. I think Matt Smith could have done the same thing. I think probably Peter Capaldi could have done the same thing. I think he did. It's, I just wish that first season of Capaldi's was more crowd pleasing, because he really played it very aloof, very alien, and it's it just I did think it put people off. I really did. And I love Capaldi, love him to death. Oh, and I have to apologize. In my previous podcast, or one of them video, I said the reason the ratings went down with Capaldi is because he just wasn't as good looking as sexy. He didn't have the same sex appeal as Matt Smith or David Tennant. To which lots of people told me no. Lots of women told me no. They're absolutely wrong. Okay, yeah, absolutely. I hear it. I totally do hear it. But here's the point. I think I can understand why Capaldi would be attractive. He's got very simmering intensity to him. And also there's a lot going on, a lot of layers with him. He's a pretty cool guy. But what I meant is you are traditionally sexy. Wouldn't have to be you wouldn't have to listen to him to find him sexy. Just he could be on a GQ. Maybe he could. I don't know. Fine. So let's see. Derek Amanda says 7.28 to be the very exact. Wonder what that meant. What's that talking about? Going back. I can't remember. Well, Chris Miller says good Sabbath and good Sabbath to you. Well, I guess you got to wait till Sunday. We get a preview. Yeah, and you got to work. It's your busy day of the week. I get it off. Bad will 66 animated. Once I finish the chat, we will get to that first. Probably still be awful. It probably will be. I've been subscribed to 3 ages under a different name. This is my new channel. Couldn't do it under my real name. And you sent it to your music. Okay, fine. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued to know who is the time prophet. I can't, but I like that we don't know. I like a bit of air and missing. Adam Dare, how are you? Hell, as the price him be. I don't know. I don't know what that means. Praise him be. I know. The Fisher King, great movie. Oh, we should do that on Video Vault. So Video Vault is dropping in an hour and a half, so you can go and hear me and Problem Being and Mega Geek and Dan, Type 40 Dan, and we're talking about Rumblefish, the art movie for teenagers. It was described as by Francis Ford Coppola. They look really good. And the haircut I got was because on Thursday started this period of mourning called the 3 weeks. It's not really that inventive a name, is it? Because it lasts for 3 weeks, and you can't get haircuts during that time. So I had to get it done. Fisher King looks fresh and healthy, unlike me. The Holy Land is my goal. Walking on the same stones. Oh, you know what's really cool? I have to tell you, living in Israel is really, especially if you like the Bible, if you believe in the Bible. Like I live in the boondocks. I live in about an hour from Jerusalem, a place called Karnei Shomron. The Horns of Samaria is the translation from it. And there's about 5-10 minute drive away from me, there is Benjamin's tomb. Like the real Benjamin as in one of the 12 tribes, Benjamin, like his actual real tomb. And it's like not a big deal. It's like this little place, it's like this little dome place. I wanted to take my copy of Cyberfrog and take a picture of it from there as this has got to be the most bizarre place anybody's ever read Cyberfrog. But I just never got around to it. Wait a minute. So, hello, Fisher King. Confusing Noel with Nigel Farage, probably. Nigel Farage is on it. That's probably why he came up there. But he was so pretending he didn't know who Noel was. I think the theory is that him and one of the Time Ladies, who I have no idea who they are. I've never heard them. I just assume I won't like them much. But they are the instigators of the targeted harassment and all. And I can really say, now I've got a little bit of insight into Ben Cook. I can really see him being just seething with rage that all these upstart YouTubers are telling you what to do and think, and it's not him. It's not him telling you what to think. It's somebody else, But it's the truth is, it's just a tragedy because him and Paul Cornell, the other guy I was talking about last night, they could have had it really well. They could, if they were nice to people, they could have crowdsourced something, and I think we would have supported it. And obviously not now. No, you know what? I tell you what, Ben, you love this era so much, but here's the thing: he doesn't. He doesn't love this era so much. He doesn't. None of them really care about the issues they scream about. They don't. But yeah, if you love it so much, why don't you crowdsource a book on the Jody era soon? Oh, crowdsource a book. Actually, you know what he would make money? Crowdsource a book on the Phantom Menace trashing us. There, he would probably he probably wouldn't make that much, but he would. But then again, I just don't think he's got it together. I don't think any of them have it together enough to pull together a campaign and be charming and keep selling it. I don't know, he's a very naughty boy. Let me go. Geek Tuning, how are you? Oh, it just jumped to me. Wow, it just super jumped to me. Whoa, I didn't think I was that far behind you. I guess I am. Wow, yeah. Okay, so that's one. Let's go. Okay, fine. I'm going to try and whiz through these things as fast as I can. The animation will be worse than Dreamland. Yeah. Okay, let me. The Ron is now Black Crew. The Ron is not. Okay, none of this is real. Okay, I don't think if they cast anybody, they will be black. They can't cast somebody not. I mean, look, Batwoman. And I feel so bad for black actors because. Really? Yeah, it's they're just. Although, if I was a black actor, I would head straight to Hollywood right now because now's your golden time. Just get to Hollywood right now because now you can get roles. If they think Noah's so insignificant, why are they attracted to the channel? Are they that afraid? Yes, they are. They live in terror. Their world is coming apart. Their world is coming apart. Jodie didn't succeed. Discovery didn't say all these things that they said. Hey, we gotta change it. We gotta make it fun. We gotta move on. The world's moved on. They got to do that, and they did it, and they changed everything, and everyone said, yeah, no thanks. Right? That's exactly what happened. Okay. Harvard Bazaar was a brand. Was it? It's a magazine, I believe. Star Trek animated was very good. Otherwise, TV shows getting animated is always the last gasp or terminal decline. That is true. WWJD. What would Jesus do in all this? Probably tear apart the BBC. I do love that bit in Jesus Christ Superstar where he trashes the temple. Like I like Jesus Christ Superstar in general. I like a lot of Christian stuff, which is really a little bit problematic if you live in like an ultra Orthodox Jewish community in the middle of Israel. Like, you know, I really like was it Dr. Medic's Spirit in the Sky. Yeah, I love gospel music. And it says that, although there's no music playing here for the 3 weeks because it's the 3 weeks. Rebecca Gold, how are you? You see, always confusing. I can just read what's around me. Ian, how are you? Rebecca Geek, how are you? Let me see. Keep going, sweet. Fine. What else we got here? Time Profit, everybody talking to you. Anybody new in the chat? B&M, don't know, the cheap plastic. Dr. Barbie, yeah, okay. And they didn't sell, did they? They didn't sell. You know, I always have somebody comment on my videos who likes the Jodie Whittaker, and I don't want to be a dick to him. I'm like, good for you. So he said the other day on one of my videos the other day that that he still buys Jodie merchandise. So I said, yeah, well, good news for you. It's all a discount. It's you can get it all cheap now. Ignore tokens. Catholicism is to miss out on the important poignant aspect of the story. Exactly. So, I was going to say C.S. Lewis as well. You're right in. Exactly. Sorry, Carolyn. She's had to go to work. What else we got? Time Mechanic. That's I don't remember seeing you before. Hello, Time Mechanic. I was going to say C.S. Lewis was also a devout Christian. Catholic, I don't know. Narnia stars were very overtly Christian. Funnily enough, so part of our renovations, we have this island in our kitchen, and we just had the granite put on the top, the countertops, because my wife really wanted granite because every Passover you need to make your kitchen kosher because you're not allowed to have any grain products. And if you have granite, you can just pour boiling water over it and it does the trick. It makes it kosher. So anyway, she designed the kitchen. She put this island in the middle, and it came out a bit bigger than I imagined. It's massive. So she was looking at it. She said, "Do you think it's big? Do you think it's too big?" I said, "I'll put it this way. We got it cheap secondhand from somebody who used it to sacrifice Aslan on it. So it's that's not a good sign." I had to unsubscribe from all official Doctor social media. I got so tired of them retconning old Doctor Who with the puke awful Chibnall logo. I know. Oh God, that's the thing. I think I'm looking forward to the city really, really going. I'm really genuinely looking forward to it. Oh, what's that? Didn't mean to. I think I pressed the wrong button. There we go. Let's okay. Let's cancel. Okay, I'm about 12 minutes behind the chat. I can catch up. Hey everyone, at Sulevekin vid. Oh, what's this video? Wants everybody to watch. I'm intrigued. Can I go and watch my own video during a show? I guess I can. Let's go see if I want to. No, I'll do it through it this way. It's if I go here, view in control room. In the control room. It's kind of like now it's just thinking about it. Where are you? Fine, gotta find Rebecca Gold. Link to a video somewhere. What's this? It's so annoying. On this thing, it doesn't give you the timestamp, so you can't find it that quickly. Oh, is that it? I can't find the video. Can I just copy and paste it? Fine, let's do that. Let's try that way. Oh, that didn't work. Can I copy it that way? No. Okay, I can't. What's the video? Who knows? Okay. Devout Christian, if you can. Okay, fine. There it matters. Chris Persia, how are you? Good afternoon, everyone. Good morning. They were saying hello to Father Miller. This is great. Time Ram, 2 TARDISes, same time orders, each occupant regenerating. One being the 12th Doctor, the other a time lady, gives anomaly swap, mixed memories, reset, Blinovich effect. So I'm about 20 minutes into the new Missy box set from Big Finish, and I really like it. But there's this other time lady who Missy is convinced is a doctor, and she keeps saying she's not. But they do reference Jodie. They said, "I'm not the doctor, but I'm a big fan of her work." I think they say. I'm like, why even reference it? It's just a bad idea. Fine, let's keep going through the chat. There's so many ways they can retcon us out of existence. Honestly, the easiest way is just just end it and then start with the new Doctor without regeneration, like they did with Eccleston. And then you could just say to yourself, she died when she jumped in when she fell out the TARDIS because she's that useless. Myself, what's that? I have 5 masses and I drive 60 miles. Exactly. That's your day of work, mate. That's your busy day. As Father Christopher Miller. I'm here. Was just posting my new religious artwork. I saw that the Temple of Golden has that. That is very funny. I do like your as Buddha. Keep going. I'm catching up. Her name was Jodie. She was a showgirl. Fine. I think we're nearly there. Nerds Archive 96. How are you? Hello, flame. Fun. Flame. I don't speak emoji. I think it'd be nice. I think it's nice. In B&M stores this week, Retro, Migo, Denny's, Fisher Price, Star Wars. I do think they're fun. I like the bridge playset. Okay, and I think we're up to date. Fine. Let's talk about the animated room. So here's the things that we know. We know that HBO and the Chinese media company have paid for season 13, possibly even season 14. But they paid. I think the money's been on the table. It's been given. It's done. The BBC need to deliver those 10 episodes, but they can't. They obviously can't film. They said there's probably no way they can do this with social distancing. One second, somebody just texted me. See if it's important. One second. Somebody's asked me when I go out live. I'm going to tell them I'm live now, baby. There we go. Can I send them a link? Let me send them a link. How do I do that? If I go over here, I can do that, and I go here. Yeah, this should be simpler. I should know how to do this more. There you go. Doink. Fine. So Jonathan, I don't count because his last name. No, that would be bad. But I do hope you turn up it. Fine. So we know the social distancing rules is a big problem. It's much more complicated going between Cardiff, going between Cardiff and London, which are two different governments, 2 different sets of rules. So apparently New Zealand is COVID free. New Zealand is pandemic free, and they're opening up for film production. And so the Lord of the Rings is wrapping up production, apparently starring Russell Crowe. Very, very exciting. That's an interesting, and it does sound like it's going to be quite good at this point. And it does also sound like they're banning Americans from there. So possibly they could film in another country. I don't think they can pull it together. Honestly, I don't think they can pull it together to do that. My wife was watching the last episode of the season, The Blacklist, which was completed under social distancing restrictions, and they did a lot of it in like previs. It was very bad animation. It's like this very like cheap off the peg animation stuff. They fired the Tolkien professor from the production. That's not a good sign. Yeah, okay, actually I did hear that, but then the showrunners who were a couple of very, very inexperienced people from Bad Robot. Never a good sign. Okay, never a good freaking sign. They're out, and the director of the pilot has seemingly taken everything over, and the director's are more of a seasoned professional. So, and there's a few other things that makes it sound like it might be good. From what I can tell, it's all in the second age. So it's all. I think it's all going to build up to that big war at the beginning of the first Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Rings. I think that's where they want to finish up, and it's about the creation of the rings, and that all sounds really, really interesting. You know, again, I think they could do very well with that. It depends if they go woke. Yeah, if they go woke and they have to cast everybody black. Yeah, again, nothing wrong with seeing black faces on screen, but it's just like again. I wouldn't hire Samuel Jackson, who I think is a fantastic actor, to play the Queen of England, because not so queeny. It's just some things fit, some things don't. That's one of the things that doesn't. They will be what's it? Habitually woke. The Time Prophet says, probably. Again, I do like trying to give things the benefit of the doubt, but it's so hard nowadays, isn't it? So anyway, so we know the social distance rules is a big problem, and they know they have to deliver episodes. Probably the only option they have on the table is animation, and here's why it might look like an attractive option for them. They've voice work going on ramped up in production right now. Big Finish has it totally ramped up for people to do voice acting from their own homes. They got it down. They got it down quick. See, I tell you, they wanted to make money. They wanted to do they didn't want to go bankrupt. They found a way, right? They found a way. So they got that going on. So they got also Big Finish work are involved with the animated reconstructions, right? So it seems to me that everything's in place for them to go into production of 10 episodes, and they can probably do it with a similar, maybe even smaller budget. You could film yourself at home, and they could rotoscope it. The animators can work remotely. Everything could be done remotely. So I do think it's a strong possibility. I think they must be talking about it at the very least. They must be talking about it, because it depends. Do they fulfill their contract by delivering animated episodes? It might be, I don't know what the English legal term is. There's a Jewish legal term called shas ad hoc, which is when you got really no choice. So let's say, normally you're not allowed to eat non-kosher food, if you're Jewish. If you're in the Holocaust and somebody gives you, a bacon sandwich, you can take it. Okay, you can totally take it. Yeah, shas ad hoc. That's when you have no other choice. I think that might come into play here. That may be attractive to them, but the thing that might make it not attractive to them is showing any more episodes of Doctor Who. Showing more episodes of this Doctor Who is disastrous. It's absolutely disastrous for this production team, because they just get more and more rejected. It does worse. And it's starting to. I think it's starting to damage the brand as a whole. Somebody mentioned that stupid logo. They put that logo on things. I'm sure it hurts them. Time Lord Victorious is a sign that they can't sell anything. Other than the 75% off stuff, is a sign that you can't. There's just no commercial reality for this era. They can't sell it. They just can't sell it. And the more they show it, the more egg they have on their face. They know this, right? They know this with absolute clarity. They have the figures. They have the stats. They have the sales data. They know this. That's why the BBC initiated Time Lord Victorious. And oh my God, is that obvious that the BBC initiated it? Because what a pig's ear they made of that. Absolutely disgraceful. They put out another story by BBC Audio that's going to be like what's non-kosher food? bacon, shrimp, anything good, lobster, pork. No, okay, oh god, it's too complicated. You don't even want to know. What's non-kosher food? About 40% cheaper. that's what non-kosher food is. So yeah, that Scott W. How are you? Hell, Grand Rabbi, I've come home pissed from a red light strip here in Adelaide. I don't know what the red light strip is like in Adelaide. You know what? Let me Google that. Red light strip Adelaide. How do you spell Adelaide? Now I've got to go back here. Okay, ELAIDE. ELAIDE. Red light strip Adelaide. No, no. Let me see if images. See if we get any pictures come up there. Not really much. Okay, no, not really. Yeah, I don't know what it could be. A complete den of iniquity. I try Hindley Street. Okay, fine. Let's try again. Hindley Street. Adelaide. Let's have a look. Oh, Adelaide nightlife. Crime. Oh my god, all these things come up straight away. Let's have a look. Yeah, okay. Again, doesn't look quite like a den of iniquity, but I reasonly dirty. I don't mind that. That seems okay to me. Fine. So I hope you had a pleasant evening there. Fine. So are they going? Do they fulfill the contract by delivering animated episodes? Quite possibly, because this is there's no other avenue to produce the episode. So that may work. They have it ramped up. They're going to go to Big Finish to do pretty much everything. So question is, would they go for like a reconstruction type one? Would they rotoscope would they film themselves at home and they would trace them? That's called rotoscoping. Or would they go for something much more stylized? What was that? Somebody mentioned it in the chat at the beginning. The David Tennant animated one. But yeah, I think that's a distinct possibility. So let's ask what would happen if that was the case, right? What would happen if that was the case? Then the J-bots would then use that as a shield to say, well, it's not fair. It's not fair to say that she didn't do well. She had the pandemic. She had the animated season. People weren't that interested. She was really popular. It was unfortunate. That's exactly what they would do. Which is probably, and that's why they would might go that route. They might go that route with a lot of stuff. Maybe Line of Duty will be done animated. So good news for animated. But how do we feel about it? Right? It makes it so much less real, so much less canonical. It's so much easier to ignore. I wouldn't be surprised. It seems to be one of the few options they have on the table, unless they can start they can start production somehow and get a season out. It'll be 2022 by the time it hits. But listen, I'm hoping that somebody will see this and they'll run with it and it will start the rumor, right? I'm hoping it will start the rumor and the rumor will make it happen, because it's just going to be so easy to make fun of this. It's going to be so easy to rank on it. But what else is going on in the chat? It's a very sleazy, no doubt. It's nastier in Tel Aviv. It depends where you are in Tel Aviv. Eggy Thump. What else we got going on? Fine. So that's basically it in a nutshell. I think it's really probably one of their only options, and it must be an option they are seriously considering. Karen can't voice act. That's true. I just missed it, and it's Karen can't voice act, and there are so many ways to pronounce. But again, if it's their only option, it's their only option. And they will say, listen, these reconstruction DVDs, they do very well. They do much better than the Jody DVD. So, is this the way they're going to go? And I came across a Good as Audio a little while ago. Really? Wow, that's interesting. Tell me more about that. So let me know in the chat what you guys think of the. I think it's highly possible, right? Yeah, I think we can say that. Fine. So let's while we're ruminating with that, was it The Goodies was one of my childhood favorites. Yeah. I think Dan told me he's doing an interview with Matt Irving. I got to I got to just send him a note to send him out Irving because I got so much love for him. I loved him going on Blue Peter and like showing you how to make spaceships. He did this one thing once. He and it's great because it worked. He got like a flower pot, and then he got like the things from Airfix kits, the bits that the parts go to, like the web work that you have to snap the bits off. And then you glued it to the flower pot, you sprayed it, and it looked like a spaceship. It was so cool. I am so. Somebody mentioned Tim Brooke Taylor. Unfortunately, passed away from the pandemic. The worst thing that happened to Tim Brooke Taylor, by the way, was that when they did the Goodies reunion, he had to his Union Jack vest waistcoat didn't do up at all. So okay, that happened. People get older, people get bigger. I'm fine with, but they couldn't afford to make him a new one. Oh, that was really, really sad. That was really, really sad. Fine, let's talk about the weird things going on within Lucasfilm, which is really quite incredible. So we're how long is this thing? And it's by the guy who did those really excellent making of books, the making of Star Wars, making of Empire Strikes Back. Fine, let me share this window. Over here, this is going to the incredible Bounding into Comics. Goodies, goody, yum, yum. Goodies, we're coming for you. There we go. We open up. There it is. So yeah, this is the fantastic Bounding into Comics, John F. Trent. So former Lucasfilm and Star Wars editor J.W. Rensselaer described Disney was all about control, fear, and paranoia. That's what it's like in corporations out of control, right? That's what it's like when you have corporations with somebody clueless at the top running it. Former Lucasfilm editor and author J.W. Rensselaer, who wrote The Art of Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, as well as the making of Star Wars, the making of Revenge of the Sith, recently detailed what it was like under Disney compared to George Lucas. And I don't think it was very good. I don't think he was a happy camper. Rensselaer, who also wrote and published The Making of Star Wars, the definitive story behind the original film, fan-freaking-tastic book, chatted with the Full Cast podcast about his initial rejections from various Lucas-owned companies, as well as the interview that eventually landed him in the position of editor in the Lucas licensed book division. We just get to the quotes. Where's the quotes? But originally saying, by the time I got there, I was in the book department. The book department was lacking behind all that, though through nobody's fault, they were farming it out instead of doing it in-house. He added, when I came along, I think for the first time, I think most people in the department were more interested in Star Wars as a story, not how they were doing. I was like the first one, I think. I don't know for sure. At any rate, probably the first person to come in who wanted to know how they did the movies and had an interest in that. Yeah, and I'll tell you, it's got this book here. This book is freaking incredible, absolutely incredible, wonderful photography on it as well. Rensselaer then stated, so when I read with Rick McCallum, I always wondered whatever happened to Rick McCallum, because he was Mr. Star Wars for a long time, right? Especially if you got those prequel DVDs. By the way, the documentary on the first one, terrible movie, fantastic documentary, which basically went from it went from inception script to screen. Yes, that DVD is worth it for the documentary. Yeah, but the movie not so much. Yeah. So I met with Rick McCallum, and I pitched him the idea of doing behind the scenes book for episode 3 that just didn't talk about the visual effects, but talked about everything from concept art to editing to spotting the music to scoring, and then and to the release of the film. Rick, bless his heart, just in office that moment said, "Yes, let's do it." And you know what? That's why he was good. Yeah, because he knew that was a good idea. Freaking fantastic, but they're all good. He continued they hadn't released episode 2 yet when I started documenting episode 3. That's how that happened, and eventually got to know George after a long time. That led to all the other books. So after detailing his experience at Lucasfilm Books, Wesley is asked what made Lucas storytelling different from other studios. And he's, okay, I want to hear the dirt. Okay, I want to hear the stuff about the stuff about when Disney came in, right? Let me just speed read this. Okay, let's keep going. The big ticket stuff with the action figures, and then they started high-end replicas, but certainly okay, fine, blah 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 blah. Talking about episode 1, that's a great picture. Freaking love that picture. Love that movie as well. One second. Okay, Rizzler continued touting the talent that the company had on board and hired, and we all had a good idea of what George wanted because because the head of licensing was Howard Rothman, who'd been there since 80-81. He had known George a long time, and there were other people who were there 5-10 years, and then they hired people who they sort of knew got it. Fine. So it seems like there was a very clear corporate culture going on there. Not always. There was exceptions. There were a few exceptions. There were people who were let go, and for the most part, understand the ethos and can't really define it except to say that it should be as close to the feeling of the films that you can get. Yeah, which you don't really get now. He went on to provide one example. For example, I would get in really convoluted plot lines from young adult fiction, and just what wasn't Star Wars. It was too complicated. You got to simplify it as just bad storytelling. I bet they don't have anybody there anymore. It says bad storytelling. They said, wait a minute. There's no Jedi Karen in this. We need Jedi Karen. How can the people survive without there being a Jedi Karen? God, such a bad idea. He had him. We had one writer who was very much involved in feelings, and that was and he was a great writer, but no sense for action scenes. Star Wars needs action, so okay, fine, blah 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 blah. Okay, fine. He went on to details first day of VHS. Okay, no, go. Let's get to the good stuff. He continued the opposite. He was working. Okay, 1 second. Then it was reported by Star Wars Disney's Done. Great website. He contrasts experience with Disney taking over Lucasfilm. Risley explained when Disney came on. I will say this: I don't think it violates any NDA. I've been there for 15 years. I worked with George Lucas for all those 15 years. I couldn't see a script for the longest time and I couldn't see the script for the longest time for The Force Awakens. And yeah, so he said the culture changed pretty quick, as it does. He continued, and so it was just the polar opposite ways of working. It was all about control, fear, and paranoia. You so see that. So look, here's the truth. Here's something that I've really realized in life. That any office, no matter big, small, any organization, always takes the personality of the person in charge. Every office. So this feels like very much like Kathleen Kennedy and Bob Iger. It feels very much like how they work. 1 second. Let's go back here. because I don't think they work on talent. See, George Lucas was, you might not like the prequels, you might not like his scripting. What he is, though, I mean, he's obviously a canny businessman. He did pretty well for himself. But what he is, I think, primarily is a storyteller, right? And he likes to tell stories. He might not be stories that we particularly want to hear. Like we're not so into the midi-chlorian Chronicles, which was the sequel trilogy that he had in mind, but it's still better than Attack of the Rays. Not that Lucasfilm. We had some of that. I mean, it wasn't like Heaven on Earth, but it was far and away like day compared to night. It was so much easier, and we didn't torture the licensees. Yeah, I get everything. Everything is about power. Everything is about power. 100%. Then he continued to compare and contrast Disney and Lucas style of management. So some of them could come in and read the script. Not some of them could come in and read the script. Not everybody, but like the head person, whoever needed to read it for the company could read it. So that they just knew what was going on. He concluded there was a lot of cooperation, a lot of sharing of information, and a lot of autonomy. If I decided a book was done and good, it was done. It was published. Yeah, and I think you probably get better stuff than that. Really, that's the end of this? I thought this went on for longer. You can listen. That's depressed. That's disappointing. This is the cover from The Star Wars, the book he wrote about the based on George Lucas's original screenplay. The Star Wars changed many times. Let's just have a look at the chat again. Oh, yes, I just scrolled and it went bang. Whoa, where did it go? Back. Good as something. We're talking about the goodies. I found the goodies. R.I.P. to okay. Problem is, Matt Irving was my suggestion. Fantastic suggestion. He's fantastic. I love Matt Irving. In fact, here, let me just go and grab something to show you my. Actually, I got more things. I think I got a sign thing as well. Where's this one? It's pretty nice. Where's the other book? Fine. This is something I recommend highly if you can find it. It's it's by was it Mike Tucker and Matt Irving. The basically Mike Tucker is who Matt Irving regenerated into. This book is freaking gorgeous. It's just got this wonderful photography, and it takes you through the whole history of the special effects department. Yeah, a bit of Red Dwarf action, bit of Blue Midget for you. Oh, yeah, that's cool. Anyway, so yeah, I love Matt Irving. Yeah, and he's always an interesting guy. I love watching him on the DVD extras. So yeah, okay, I definitely got to send Dan a note just to give to Matt Irving, because I so love him. He's given me so much pleasure. He's been a part of my entire life. I think it's something important that he really understands that. I'm sure he went to a lot of effort to do the fun stuff he did. And I remember I went to a BBC Open Day, and he was doing a special effects demonstration. He's always got had his hands in, and he's a good guy, talented guy. He can make a spaceship pretty darn quickly. Big Monty Python fan George Harrison from the Beatles funded Life of Brian too. Yes, in fact, he is also in Life of Brian. He plays 237th Jewish man to the left in the scene where they're doing the Sermon on the Mount, or Brian's version of that. Anything else going on here? Colin B. Smith left. Never mind. There we go. Rabbi, the Disney sequel can ultimately be summed up as Return of the Palpatine. Yeah, it's where Palpatine wins completely. Oh God, it's so bad. It's so freaking awful. Their only real choice with Star Wars, I think, to continue, if they want to push forward, is firstly, push the whole Rey line into his own universe. Keep doing your merchandise. You can do stuff in that universe, but I would do another universe set it like 100 years later, after the original Star Wars. And the only surviving character would be Luke Skywalker. And you could really make it about today, like the kids don't really understand where they are, and they're like, they think the Jedi's are corrupt because they're not good enough. They don't understand what the powerful are. What the Sith was. So I think that's it. And then if they can talk Harrison Ford into appearing as like a holocron or something, as like a surprise thing, I think that's really their only option with it. Suda Becken, I give the actor of Palpatine credit for being able to be a great English villain. It was Ian McDiarmid. Yeah, he's okay. It was fine. It was just stupid. If they wanted to put, apparently, I was going to say if they want to put Palpatine in, they're saying that they will put in, after the script was done at the last minute at the behest of Bob Iger. But that could well be J.J. Abrams' spin. J.J. Abrams may be in a bit of trouble. Like if he doesn't pour success out, then if his was it Justice League? No, Justice League's Dark Stuff tanks and basically all his Warner Brothers stuff. He's in trouble. Although Warner Brothers seems to be going all in on the Snyderverse. They are ready to I think we're going to see the full Snyderverse as long as Justice League does well, and I think it's going to do well. I think we'll see the full one. We'll see another movie. I think we'll see the Suicide Squad cut. But I'm pretty sure that they may film like a whole other Zack Snyder movie, which would be really, really cool. But let's look at this thing from Harper's Bazaar. Oh yeah, can I ask you? 24 watching, 25 watching, 24 likes. Thank you very much, everybody. Can I ask you guys, if you haven't subscribed, hit subscribe. Thank you very much. And don't forget the prize for the 2 weeks. We went on for too long. As I think renovations are finished this week, I'm going to get everything mailed out, hopefully by this time next week. That's what I'm really hoping for. But the prize again is Godfather DVD trilogy with lots of extra stuff in it. You broke my heart, Fredo. That's all you need to put in the hashtag. You broke my heart, Fredo, in the video notes. Were there rumors that the villain reveal was originally meant to be Matt? Yes, it was supposed to be Matt Smith's character, but Iger wanted it tied to the original series. That is the rumor. That's 100% the rumor. Wasn't there something saying Capaldi was doing Dr. Hugo Strange in Suicide Squad 2? We don't know what his role is, but I know that's a movie I'm reasonably confident with. You see, what's his name? The guy makes Suicide Squad, made Guardians of the Galaxy, big SJW, big, massive SJW, but still makes good movies, right? He still makes good movies. I would say the same thing is true of, what's his name? Taika Waititi, who's like just a horrible garbage piece of human being. Or at least he acts like one. But makes a good movie. Can't argue with that. Fine, let's look at this thing from Harper's Bazaar. Here we go. So after destroying the world, after the academia has literally destroyed Western civilization, they spent, I think, 30 years breeding this generation of absolute idiots who are like socialism, yay! It's all gonna be absolute idiots. Paul Smith is here. How are you? Once again, though, I put it on reminder, no notification. Shake a fist at them, Rabbi. Your wish is my command, Effendi. I will shake a fist. You missed all the good stuff. You want to see stuff as good as that again? So after the academics have spent the last 30 years saying the Western world is the worst thing ever. The worst thing ever. Everything we've done is bad. America was never great. Everything is always bad. They've created a monster, and now that monster is starting to eat them. Now they put out a letter. This is what they should have said. Okay, July 7th, 2020. They should have said this July 7th, 1990. 95, say. They should have nipped this in the bud then. 25 years of stupidity calls to get to where we are today. Our cultural institutions are facing a moment of trial. Yes, because of you idiots. You idiots have sap the brains out of several generations. And so we're seeing the children of children of children who have been taught terribly. Again, all the SJW stuff that's, all this terrible stuff we see from them, it's just they weren't taught the things that normal people were taught in kindergarten. Not to seethe with rage, let things go, forgiveness, getting over things. None of those things. None of those things are in any way, in any way on their mind. Extra spicy Mickey, how are you? Where's your coffee? You have coffee? No, I don't have coffee because the Sabbath bride is coming. I normally have a coffee, but I think I'm going to make one again. I got to make one and have a sit down. Oh, maybe I'll just have a nice cup of tea. That does sound nice. By the way, I have to. Unashamedly shill for this company called Nespresso. They have one of the greatest coffee makers ever. Why are they protesting? Said the Time Brother. We've had diversity in Britain for hundreds of years. I wouldn't get hundreds of years, but yeah, I would say since I would say since the 90s. Since the 90s. And people who didn't like anybody else based on their sexual orientation, gender, religion, skin color were considered weird from the 90s onward, right? Ever since the 90s. Okay, Father Chris Miller, you have a fantastic weekend. What do you say to Blessed Sabbath? I don't know, but have yourself a blessed weekend. Okay, fine. Let's get back to this this letter. According to the Faith in Trial, powerful protests for racial and social justice are leading to long overdue demands for police reform. No, they're not. They're leading to the police reform they're looking for is to get rid of the police. They kind of skip the let's reform it to say, no, let's get rid of it. And now all the idiots they defund the cops. Well, now they're calling in the National Guard because the murder rate's going through the ceiling. They didn't quite work out. If there's no deterrent not to do crime, people will do crime. Along with wider calls for greater equality and inclusion across our society. And again, I'm going to ask you, how are we not achieving that? How are we not meeting that benchmark? And how have we not been meeting that benchmark for the last 30 years? I think we have. I genuinely think we have. Yes, I understand. Bad things can happen to women. Bad things can happen to black people. But bad things can happen to white people and white men. It's just the way it is. No one has it any better or worse than anyone else. Honestly, a big thing that they're also upset about. They're so against is capitalism, right? They're so against wealth. People being wealthy. And I would say if you're born into wealth, that's probably a bigger problem as being born into poverty. Now let me qualify that for you. It depends what you view as the point of life. If you view the point of life as the acquisition of things, of material goods, if you view that as the point of life, then yeah, being born wealthy is a definite advantage. If you view the point of life to become a better person than you were, to strive to make yourself better, I would say being born into wealth is a detriment, right? I would say being born into wealth makes it much harder to become a better person. It all depends on what you think life is like. Have you ever been to Golders Green? Yeah, my grandparents lived there. Golders Green, know it well. Normally when I'm in England, I stay in a place. I haven't been to England for a long time. I stay in the Holiday Inn in Golders Green, Hendon Central. There's a couple of kosher hotels which are like a bit gross. Scott W says, I was chastised by a 20-year-old girl tonight about my insensitivity regarding the infinite expanse of possible gender combinations due to my old white male facade. I'm just trying. I just ask her. And this is a question that short circuits them. This is what short circuited Ben Cook that made him go crazy at me. Yeah, you ask why. This not this particular question. It just asks them, what percentage of human beings do they think throughout the entirety of the history of our species, right? What percentage of them do they think is gender fluid? I'm going to go under 1%. I'm going to go significantly under 1%. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm saying it's a aberration, you know. And it's not. I don't mean that as a pejorative at all. It's just it's very uncommon. Wow, Paul was going to say, yeah, Jojo Rabbit says, yeah. Paul Smith says Jojo Rabbit was a great movie. It is something I want to see, but I don't like him enough, so I'm waiting till it's going to be on a streaming service. If it's on HBO Max, which I'm buying a subscription to now because I want to watch Doom Patrol. We can do Doom Patrol reviews. I've been meaning to. I just finished episode 5. But I'm not sure how much time we got. Let's get back to this letter. Not least in higher education. Really? Okay. If there is not inclusion in higher education, I think that higher education, journalism, and philanthropy and the arts. The only place there isn't inclusion and diversity is the arts. Okay, because people who fund that, who are normally the intelligentsia who are writing this, are a bit racist. Yeah, that's the bottom line. But this needed reckoning has intensified a new set of moral attitudes and political commitments that tend to weaken our norms of open debate and tolerance. Oh, have you noticed that? Have you? You didn't pick up on that over the last 4 years, right? You didn't notice, idiots. No, the only reason you're noticing now is because they're coming for you, you morons. You should have wrote this letter when Alex Jones was taken off Facebook. That's when this letter should have gone out, not when they come for you. Because you know what it means when they come for you? It means you're full of crap. It's full of crap. Yeah, I hope they come for you. I hope they spend a long time with you. And don't think they're going to be placated. Don't think you can talk them down. Yeah, they're on a crusade. They're on a fiery crusade, and that doesn't end easily. You know, as your boy Zach made a very, very good point. He said, when is it ever in history that a group of people comes along and they say, you can't think about things we tell you not to think about. You can't think what we don't think, tell you not to think. You can't watch what we don't like. You have to agree with us in every way. There is no freedom of sport. There's no freedom of expression. There is no freedom of speech, right? When have those people ever been lauded? How have they ever got a round of applause for the great and stunning work that they've done? Never. It's always bad news. They're always bad news. As we have thought, intensify a new set in favor of ideological conformity. We applaud the First Amendment. We raise our voices against the second. Yes. Oh, well, because the second's coming for you now. J.K. Rowling. The forces of liberalism are gaining strength throughout the world, and we have a powerful ally in Donald. What? Whoa. The forces of liberalism are gaining strength throughout the world, and we have a powerful ally in Donald Trump who represents a real threat to democracy. You morons! You represent the threat to democracy! What? Shut up! This is all because of you! Noam Chomsky, this is all because of you. But resistance must not be allowed to come after us, to harden its own brand of dogma. Too late. It did that 4 years ago, or coercion, which right-wing demagogues are already exploiting. We're not exploiting it. We've been telling you to leave us alone. The democratic inclusion we want is just for our side, not for them. We want can only be achieved if we all speak out against intolerant climate that has been set on all sides. No, I'm sorry, mate. Listen, in the 80s, 90s, the right wing was the intolerant climate. 100%. In the 80s, 30 years ago, before you started this new project of yours, this new academia, to undermine Western civilization because you don't think you're paid enough, which is really the bottom line. It's always the bottom line. It's always about power. And the free exchange of information and ideas, the lifeblood of a liberal society, is becoming more constricted. Why didn't you speak out when Alex Jones was taken off social media? Why didn't you do it then? You know why? Because you're full of shit. That's why. While we've come to expect this on the radical right, yeah, because again, you know, look inward. You have a problem in your life, look inward. That's what the right do. And, that's what people on the right. That's what religious people tend to do. When there's a problem, they tend to go, "Why is God doing this?" Like what does God want to tell me? That's what religious people do. We look inward. We're doing it. We have to expect censorious is spreading more widely in a culture, and intolerance opposing views of vocal public shaming. That's the thing. Again, this is why I'm so obsessed with Ben Cook, and because he's like my first real close encounter with a real hardcore SJW, and I got to see how incredibly lacking they are. Right? Like one of the things he says, "Are you shaming me for not being married and having children?" And firstly, yes, because then but more than yes, I kind of was. But why? Because just as when you see a 20-year-old who's developmentally at the same stage as a 5-year-old, it's a tragedy. It's an absolute tragedy for a 20-year-old to be at the same stage as a 5. And listen, I'm not saying their lives are worthless. Well, it's tragic, and your heart bleeds for them, right? It is tragic. Because they have a limited set of they have limited opportunity. But don't get me wrong, these are normally the most happy, wonderful people I've ever met in my life. But you do feel kind of like it's tragic. But in the same way, more tragic, I would say, a 37-year-old still doing the same thing as a 19-year-old. It's tragic, absolute tragic. What a waste of a life. What a waste of life. It is tragic. So I wasn't shaming you. I was trying to tell you. Shaming is what children do. Is what silly children do. What I was doing was an intervention. Right. An assembly to resolve complex issues in a blinding moral certainty. Yeah, exactly. You can't look how people at J.K. Rowling, right? Yeah, and that's the one that made them crap themselves, right? That is the one that made them go, "Oh dear, it's going to eat us too." We uphold the value of robust and caustic counter speech. No, you haven't, from all quarters. No, you haven't. No, you haven't stopped and defended free speech when it wasn't your free bloody speech. Lying pieces of crap. This is why you're in so much trouble, because you lie to yourselves constantly. But it is now all too common to hear calls for swift and severe retribution in response to perceived transgressions of speech and thought. Yes, this is the world that you've made. This is the world that you made. More troubling still, institutional leaders in spirit of panic damage control are delivering hasty and disproportionate punishments instead of consider reforms. Yes, because you have made a generation of utter morons. Editors are fired for running controversial pieces. Exactly. It used to be that the artists were the radicals. The artists were the ones who were breaking the rules. The artists were the ones who wanted to tear down the structures and build them anew. Now they're like, I don't think that's very inclusive. That's what artists are like now. Real artists aren't, but they are. Editors of the fight running controversial pieces. Books are withdrawn for alleged inauthenticity. Yeah. Did you ever get your knickers in a twist about diversity readers in publishing? Publishing, the closest industry to academia, and it was happening on your doorstep. Did you get upset by it? No. You let it go. Why? Because they're attacking people you don't like. Now they're coming for you. Journalists are barred from writing on certain topics. Yeah, like, for example, up until Hillary Clinton got roundly defeated in the last election, people like, what's it called again? Mr. Me Too. Me Too. What's the name of the guy? Harvey Weinstein. There you go. Until Hillary Clinton thoroughly lost the election, newspapers couldn't write exposés showing what terrible things that people on your side of the aisle were doing, because you're disingenuous pieces of shit. That's why. Books are being withdrawn. Journalists are, and books are being withdrawn by the authors themselves. Journalists are barred from writing on certain topics. Protesters are investigated for quoting. Professors, see, this is it. Let me highlight. Professors are investigated for quoting works of literature in class. This is the world you made. A researcher is fired for circulating a peer-approved academic study. This is the world you made. And heads of organization are ousted for sometimes clumsy mistakes. Like, I voted for Trump. Okay. Here's your choice, idiots. Here's your choice. This is the choice you got now. You can either give up on Western civilization, give up on freedom, give up on free speech, give up on democracy, or vote for Trump. That's your choice, idiots. That's your choice now. And that's the choice that you've made for yourselves. We are already paying the price in the greater risk aversion amongst artists, writers, artists, and journalists. By the way, that's why Comicsgate is so freaking wonderful, right? That's why Comicsgate is fantastic, because it's finally, and I hope it happens across all the media, that the creators are not beholden to anything. Listen, I want to do a Superman comic because I have a affection for Superman. I'm not going to do Superman. I'll do like a knockoff. I'll make up my own Superman. I'll take the aspects of the character that I want to talk about and make a character around that. And I have a lot of the similar trappings, much like The Boys, right? Homelander was clearly based on Superman. Queen Maeve, whatever her name, was based on Wonder Woman, very clearly, very, very, very clearly. But yeah, we don't have to be frightened anymore of editors telling you can have complete free artistic expression, because these idiots have destroyed our infrastructures that much that you can't get jobs anymore. Like, again, if you were an insane one of these insane weirdos, you wouldn't be able to be employed for the last 5 years in the creative fields. So, and now you've destroyed it, and now you made it free. Exactly, in essence. Journalists who live in fear of their livelihoods if they depart from consensus or even lack the sufficient seal in agreement. Yeah, look, Scott Snyder didn't condemn somebody for being Comicsgate adjacent last year because he was out with having a vacation with his family. He was camping or something, and he got chided by these utter frauds, these utter losers. Like Heather Antos. Who cares what Heather Antos says? Who cares what Max Saggio says? Who cares what Gail Simone says? I don't care. Who cares? But they live in fear of them because they believe in Twitter. It's not real, mate. It's again, the thing again for people who live on Twitter. Ben Cook is my go-to example. People who live on Twitter, they think it's real, and they think you getting a disingenuous mic drop on Twitter is something to be scared of. The truth is, they have no power over you whatsoever. Absolutely no power at all. The stifling atmosphere will ultimately harm the most vital cause of our time. Yes, you destroyed the world. Yes, you destroyed society. The restriction of debate, whether by repressive government or intolerant society, invariably hurts those who lack power and make everybody less capable of democratic participation. The way to defeat bad ideas is by exposure, which is exposure, argument, and persuasion, which is why they all refuse to talk. That's why none of them will ever come on the channel. None of them will ever get in a conversation. The only reason they do, that one kid who did, the only reason he did it was he was too stupid to realize he was peddling bullcrap. That's the only reason he came on, because he was too stupid to realize how much he was going to get his ass handed to him. We refuse any false choice between justice and freedom. We cannot exist without which cannot exist without each other. As writers, we need a culture that leaves us room for experimentation. I'm sorry. Again. Where were you when Alex Jones was deplatformed? Where were you? That's when you should have spoken out. Now it's too late. Now you're full of crap. Risk taking and even mistakes. Yeah, mistakes are not allowed anymore. We need to preserve the possibility of good faith disagreements without dire professional consequences. And again, you're in university. Your professor says some leftist bullcrap. Your professor says, trans women having a penis. You can have a female penis. Your professor says you can have a female penis, and if you argue against him, you or her, or whatever they define themselves off that day, you will get a worse grade. Where were you then? Where were you then? Exactly. We need to preserve the possibility of a good place to add without dire professional consequences. If we don't defend, again, they're all shitting themselves because they're all getting cancelled. If we won't defend the very thing in which our work depends, we shouldn't expect the public or the state to defend it for us. But the thing is, you're not defending it. You're not defending the thing that your work depends on. You're defending yourselves when they came for you. When they came for you. And here's the truly pathetic part of this, right? That some people had their names removed when they agreed with the statements, but when they saw other people were also agreeing with them, were signing with them, said, "Oh, I can't sign with him. Oh, no, that's not possible. I can't sign. I can't sign with it. Why? You agree? Well, you agreed with it when he agreed with it. Why? Why aren't you agreeing with it? Agreeing with it anymore? Fine. Let's see that. Let's see how they. Let's see. Okay. Well, Daily Beast. The first thing that came out. I have no idea. Daily Beast, left, right, whatever. But let's have a quick look and see what the. That's the wrong button. Let's see what the fallout is from it. There it is. The magazine's free speech open letter has ignited some very public intra-newsroom feuds and has caused several of its signers to scramble to back away from it. Yeah, this is exactly what I was saying. Let me skim through this. The place to really get a giggle about this is Twitter, right? But again, who cares? It's fine. So let's say it's 6:30 now. I better go. Okay, so Sabbath is starting. Let's have a look at the chat. See what's been going on in the last 15 minutes. Okay, I've got 15 minutes of chat to go through. Hopefully, I'll see if my name's on it. Yeah. Okay. There we are. See, like it's less than 1%, but I had to defend myself against an angry guy. Yeah, and the thing is, the parents of this angry child hasn't told them it's rude to shout at you, that your elders are your betters. And the thing is, I didn't really believe that until I hit my 40s, and I went, "Oh yeah, now I really do get it." What annoys me is they're indoctrinating this rubbish in school. Exactly, and these are the people who wrote the letter. It's 1984. Let's see. Tim Paul had a very intelligent take on pseudo-pop cultural demolition festival yesterday. It had nothing to do with Black Lives. It totally has nothing to do with Black Lives, says Paul Smith. It has everything to do with them feeling good about themselves, making them feel good about themselves, because they lead completely worthless lives. Completely worthless lives when they do nothing for anybody apart from themselves. And that's really what's going on with them. If you haven't liked the video, do it now. Well, I always like them. Actually, I never hit like on my video. I always like my videos. And I thought, and I realized not so much. My partner keeps torturing me with stories about Golders Green Bagel Shop. Haven't had a decent bagel in decades. Listen, mate. I have to tell you, you want a good bagel, gotta go to New York. They're really the best. The English bagels are definitely different from American bagels. Although the Brick Lane one was very good. Where you got like salt beef, thick salt beef on a bagel at 3 a.m. That's pretty darn good. Brick Lane is pretty good. Well, okay, Paul Smith, where do you live? I'll see if I can recommend someplace for you. Put it in the chat. Mark Boland's grazing. Oh yes, it is. It is. Right. Okay, I think we're catching up. 5 minutes behind. Okay, stop picking on Noam. He suffers from relevancy deficiency. It just annoys me. Have you ever seen the British Superman comic? I guess what I mean. They always had a British Superman comic. It was like a bigger version of it. I came up in I grew up in England. In W.H. Smith, you had like the big versions of it. They're just basically reprints, weren't they? I'm in the back room. Okay, I don't know what's going on there, but you enjoy it. It just jumped. I think. Oh, Raymond O'Reilly, how you doing? Oh, I feel bad now. best bagel, New York bagels are not kosher. Oh no, there's a couple of good places you go to. Also, okay, when you're getting a bagel, this is what I will leave with. When you're getting a bagel, you don't want parboiled. You want them to boil it properly in the plate. Parboiled is the way a bagel is made is you get dough, you shape it into a circle. You have to have the hole in the middle. Then you boil them first, which and then you bake them, which gives a much chewier and crustier exterior. But that's basically how bagels made. Then you need the hole in it so it boils, the water goes through it. So you get these things called parboiled bagels, which is they make the bagel dough and they shape them and they boil them from a little bit, and they might even just steam them, and then they freeze them and they send them frozen to bagel shops, and bagel shops bake them there to make them fresh. You want a place that they boil bagels on the spot. LA has a good place. There's Atlanta. Atlanta had this really good place that wasn't kosher, then it went kosher. That's the best kosher restaurant. The places that weren't kosher, that went kosher. Fine. Okay, I got to work on this stuff for my son for his project, for his exam. I got to print stuff out for him before the Sabbath, before the Shabbos. So I'm going to say Shabbat Shalom to all of you out there. I will see you tomorrow. Well, firstly, starting in 25 minutes, the video vault opens up again for Rumblefish. Me, problem being Dan and Mega Geek. We discussed the movie. Next week it will be Blazing Saddles. I want to do something a little bit more fun. And a week after that is going to be Adventure by Munchausen. But I got to try and find something a bit more populist that Mega Geek will like a bit more. Everyone's like, oh, maybe we can do High Rise. Maybe you'll like that. I don't think you'll like. Maybe you will. Let's find out. We'll find. I'll ask you. Okay, guys. So check this out in 25 minutes. Tomorrow, 7 o'clock. We're doing Frontier in Space, and then the day after, we're going to be doing Girl in the Fireplace. Girl in the Fireplace. Go to Noel's channel. If anybody sees Noel, if anybody's in the chat, tell him my theory. I think I worked out the reason why I think they came after him. The reason why I think Ben Cook and Tyler came after him, because they are insanely jealous of his success. And yeah, because here's the thing, okay, this is what I will really leave on. Last week, the Torah portion that we read, the portion of the Old Testament that we read, talked about, it was like a cutaway to some villains, to Balak. And it was good. I always like the bits where they go, meanwhile in the Injustice League headquarters, and it shows you how the other people looked at the Jews, because Jews are normally kind of a scared people. We're kind of but it shows you how they looked at them, which is an utter terror. So it's the same way. No, I don't think realizes how much he scares Ben Cook. No, absolutely terrifies Ben Cook, because he's taking Ben Cook's job away from him, and he's doing a darn good job with it. That's why they don't come on YouTube. That's why they can't build a platform. Their old ways have been completely washed away, and they are in complete meltdown. Fine. So have a great weekend, everybody. Enjoy Video Vault. Enjoy your Saturdays. Take some time off from social media. It's a good thing. Hitting the end broadcast button now. It says, "Am I sure?" I am totally sure.